Hi, I wrote a story today I'm going to share. It's called Reentry and Readjustment. Reverse culture shock. No one talked about it. The intensity of returning home to a familiar culture yet feeling like a stranger. This was the most significant transition of my life. Even more than arriving in the country of Madagascar. I had planned and prepared for that, packed so much for it, said my goodbyes to my most beloved people, and then was off to Madagascar, where I knew there would be challenges with integrating, learning a new language, new culture, their Fumba or way of life. But I expected that. I expected those challenges. I did not expect to have a panic attack upon arriving to Scotland to visit Jenny and my new baby sister Vienna right after my close of service. Jenny took me to their big box store, kind of like Walmart, and I was completely overwhelmed, confused, and kind of disgusted with how much there was of everything. I first went to the cereal aisle. I missed cereal so much. But holy cow, how could I choose between literally hundreds of choices? And is this store, in this store, is it really going to sell so many of all these different kinds of soaps and shampoos and watches, cheese before spoiling, or milk or bread or clothing? Just the mass amounts of everything disgusted me. Sure, I had a honeymoon period of the joy of seeing all my beloved family and friends. I even had a welcome home party hosted by my best friend Jen and her parents, where I told everyone, bring a box of cereal. Turns out some of those people thought the cereal was going to Madagascar. No, it was just for Kontu, because I missed cereal so much. But then the low period hit. The feeling of being in my own country, just feeling foreign in it. I miss the simple way of life of my village of Antetizambaro in Madagascar. I miss the varigasi, the rice, and how everyone opens their homes to any stranger walking down the road. Mandrus, Mahinanambadi, come in, come eat some rice. The developed world had so much hustle and bustle and not enough of paying attention to the people and things in life that matter. Everyone is in their own cars, rushing off to work, so much traffic. I realized I returned a different person as I sought to understand why I felt disconnected from the society, including some of my family and friends who had not experienced what I had. I tried to understand the abundance of food, technology, the abundance of choices for everything, but it was so overwhelming. But with time and personal reflection, I finally entered the readjustment period, the last, more productive period of coming home after returning from Peace Corps. The biggest help was our tree house. It was a primitive cabin Brad had rented for us on an old hippie commune, just perfect for my transition, located in southeast Ohio's in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It still had the cabinet or the outhouse that I wanted because seriously, I mean, toilets are disgusting. Do we really want our toilet right next to our kitchen when we're cooking? Like, I didn't want that. So Brad dug the hole himself, and this outhouse just was beautiful. Everything I wanted. It didn't have a door. It looked out to the most beautiful old growth forest, so lush, so green, right in our backyard. I'd wake up, head out to the cabinet, take a nice seat, sometimes cold in the winter, but in the summer, just the nice misty fog coming up over the hills. Watching the deer stroll by, the birds singing their morning glory. And then our running water, it actually came from the rain. It was collected from the rain roof and run through a man-made filter of sand and other filtration system that was man-made. And it was collected in a big cistern in the bottom. We get plenty of rain in southeast Ohio, so there was never shortage of rain, which would be a little more challenging here in southwest Colorado. The back deck of the treehouse of the cabin was my most favorite. It opened up to literally amongst the tops of the trees, because you had to climb about 60 pretty big steps to get up to the treehouse. I loved just being in that tree house, but after a month of reintegrating, seeing my people, I had to start thinking about what's next. I wasn't ready to jump right back into teaching. I did some substituting, and then I found I was working at Honey Baked Ham just for Thanksgiving or Christmas, selling hams, and saw the advertisement for a health AmeriCorps position. Awesome, that's perfect. I can teach, I can serve my community, I can be part of a bigger mission and have that community fellowship that you get with a group. There was about 15 other Health AmeriCorps people for Southeast Ohio that I joined. And I was so lucky to get the position in where I lived. So I took 1 year. It's 1,700 hours total. You have a very flexible schedule of getting your hours in. I got to ride my bike about 2 miles up and down the beautiful rolling hills of Athens County to be the health educator / pseudo school nurse for Amesville Elementary. Since they didn't have a school nurse, I got to help, get the Band-Aids for the kiddos, for their boo-boos. I got to go into the classes and teach cooking and nutrition. I got to teach yoga and just be me and just play while serving the youth of Amesville. This was a perfect way for me to reintegrate and help me find my path again in the U.S. Without that treehouse or my AmeriCorps position, reintegration wouldn't have happened as easily as it did for me. World travel is still a dream and something Brad and I still talk about as a possibility, but for now we're trying to focus on the amazing travel opportunities we have right here in our backyard of the Four Corners, USA. We have breathtaking views, rich history, cultural opportunities to learn and appreciate what we have in the present. Thanks for listening.